What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Mo. So today's video, let's talk about becoming a dealer rep in 2024. I know we've got plenty of videos on this stuff that I put out, but trying to get an updated one for you. So a lot of you guys are asking me, how do you become a dealer rep? Well, let's get for this. For anyone who's new, let's talk about what is a dealer rep. A dealer rep is a dealer representative. You're basically using someone else's license to buy and sell cars. Well, to buy cars at dealer-only auctions and then selling them through the dealership that you're using their license. Unless you just buy them yourself from the dealer and then you sell them from wherever. I don't want to get into the legalities of all that. Whatever state you live in, you'll be able to figure it out, how many you could sell a month and a year. And all that kind of stuff. If doing it through the dealership's a little bit too much of a headache for you, and I get it, trust me, I do. I'm lucky, I'm in Tampa, Florida, so there's 100 dealers that are willing to do it. You just have to, they have to like you to say they'll do it. But the majority, I found, do it to a certain degree, whether it's one rep or 10 reps or a repping business like my friend Dennis. With that being said, there's a couple good things about being a rep and not so good. Number one, I get this question a lot. Can you get a floor plan as a rep? You cannot. As a rep, you are nothing more than someone who works for a dealership. That's all you are. You're not an owner. You're nothing. Really and truly. I'm not trying to say it in a negative way, but when it comes to the legality of it, there's nothing. You could walk away from that dealer in a heartbeat. So no, you cannot go and get a floor plan because the dealership has to get the floor plan, not the individuals. Now, what you could do is you can get your own business, start your own LLC, and I'll do a whole nother video about this, and get what's called a line of credit. All right. In order to do this, you have to have decent credit. Amex has a great one going on right now. As a matter of fact, I have an appointment tomorrow to speak with a representative from Amex and compare them to my floor plan and see which one I make more money with in terms of, the interest rates, so on and so forth. So that's another video in of itself. Do you, as a dealer rep, I think it's great. You have very low overhead. Instead of owning your own dealership and being held liable for all this stuff, you get to use someone else's license, you get to go to the auction, you get to learn. You don't have to have the headaches of the rent, the insurance, if there's a car accident, God forbid, any of those things. You don't have to worry about any of that. The only thing you have to worry about is buying a good car and selling a good car. That's it. And then let's just say again, I'm trying to be 100 with you guys, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you bought a not so good car. And like you're me now, right? So you own a dealership and you buy a not so good car. Your choice is A, try to sell it, and you could disclose everything you want, but generally speaking, the person who's buying it, as soon as something breaks down on it, even though you disclose it, they're probably going to leave you a bad review, right? Or you can take your losses and send it back through one of the auctions, whether it's Copart or IAAI, or any, Manheim, whatever, any auction you want. And you're probably not going to get a good run number as an independent. You can use like some other places that let you use their license to run cars. But even now, what I'm noticing is everyone, number one, knows who those dealers are. And number two, it says third-party seller, which kind of takes away from you using that dealer. Like, for instance, if I wanted to run cars through Honda, right? If I had a connection with Honda years ago, I could just tell the guy at Honda, like, hey man, let me run a couple cars through you, and I'll hit you off, whatever. All right, you could do that. And they did not say it. They just ran the cars through as though Honda was selling the cars. Well, now, what I'm noticing is that every auction, they put third-party seller. So it'll be in the Honda running, but it'll say third-party seller, which kind of lets everyone there at the auction know that it's not actually a trade-in through Honda. It's someone that Honda's allowing use their run numbers. What's happening now is not a lot of cars are being sold new, right? So there's a lot less trade-ins. In order for these big dealers to keep their run numbers good, they need to get other people to run underneath them so they can continue to get the deals that they get at these auctions. But again, that's just if you bought a bad car, you want to get rid of it. But as a rep, if you got and sold that car and that buyer left a negative review, it's not your dealership. It's someone else's. It's someone else's problem. So that's something to think about as well. So you really have no, as a rep, you really have zero liability. Like it all falls under the dealership, not you. Even like this, guys, like let's just say you went to the auction and bought a car and you didn't pay for it, the dealership has to pay for it. So there is risk for the dealership. Not a lot of risk for you as a rep. I own my own dealership and I've been a rep before. There's good and bad on both. I love owning my own dealership. I have a crazy system set up, and I enjoy it. If I went back to being a rep, I'd probably like it more. It's a lot less stress, but there's a couple things that I wouldn't be able to do, of course, and not even just the floor plan. Like I said, I have lines of credit or could get I have lines of credit being offered to me. Floor plan, I'm not really worried about it. So whatever. Why don't I go back to being a rep if I think it's better? It's because I'm here now. This is where I am now. To go to be a rep, I don't know, kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm going backwards. I don't know why I don't. Another thing about being a rep is you have to deal. So here's one reason, a big reason why. You have to deal with all the other reps that are at the dealership. So I'm not an individual who wants to sit at the dealership. I don't even want to sit in my own dealership. So as a rep, you pretty much have to sit there, or you want to sit there, because if you're sending someone there to buy your car and someone else is showing it and they're a rep, as soon as they don't like your car, even if you have 5 or 10 cars there, if they don't like your car, that rep is just going to try to move them into one of their own cars. So it's really, really, really bad if you're not able to show your own cars as a rep, especially if you're sending them to the dealership. You got to keep in mind, guys, for some of us, like myself, I have another job. So the selling cars thing, it's kind of like a side hustle, right? Even though it's super profitable and everything else, it's still like a side hustle. My career is what comes first. So for me, when I was a rep, my career still came first. So I didn't want to go sit at the dealership. I didn't want to do any of these things. So even though I was selling cars, a lot of times when I was sending people down there to buy one of my cars, they weren't buying my car. I seen that I sold a lot more cars when I was there. Now, what ends up happening is, and this happened, at that place where I was, they put a salesperson in there. The salesperson doesn't give a shit whose car they buy, right? They don't care. They just know they're going to get paid $150 a car. So for them, they'll show them all as long as they can sell the car, because that's what they want. As we're now, if I'm there, right, I'm going to show you all of my cars first, because I don't give a damn about $150. I'm trying to make it 1,000 or better. So I want to show you all my cars first. Now, if they don't want any of my cars, we went through all my cars and there's another rep's car there, then yeah, because it's my customer, I'm still going to sell them and I'm going to still make the $150 as a sales guy. Anything is better than nothing, right? But you have to think about that. As a rep, you got to deal with a lot of different people. Now, in comparison to me owning my own spot, I don't have to deal with anyone. Any car that gets sold from my lot, I'm making money, regardless. Any car that gets sold from my property, I'm making money. So it's, that's just the truth of the matter. I don't have reps. So let me just, full disclosure, I do not have reps. What I do have is wholesalers. We'll say wholesalers. And what I did was, I don't want the responsibility of having someone drive on my tag. I don't want the responsibility of anything, really. So I allow other reps who rep for other dealers that I know, if they buy a car that doesn't fit on that lot, you can bring it to my lot. It has to, hit a lot of check marks, because we drive the car, we inspect the car, we make sure there's no check engine light on it. We, for the most part, we will 110% not deal with any odometer rollback whatsoever. Salvage titles we don't care about as long as the work was done good. odometer rollback's the one thing that you're really gonna get caught up on. Like odometer rollback is so tricky, so tricky. Go lay down, baby. Go lay down. Go to bed. So it's tricky. We won't do it. And we don't take any money. We don't. They tell us what they want to advertise it for, what the lowest dollar amount is, and that's it. Our money comes from the dealer fee. We get $300 every time we sell a car. That's our dealer fee. So for us, it doesn't matter. Anytime a car gets sold, I'm getting paid. It does not matter. And then I have a auto trader. So if that car that the individual brought to us ended up on auto trader, it's another $30. That's the only fee. So that's why I don't have reps. Let me think here. So the way you want to go about finding a dealership, okay? Number one, there's going to be 2 phone numbers I'm going to put in the description here. One is for Kia. That's not Kia as in the brand. That's her name, Kia Bama. She's from Alabama. She deals with reps that are out of state, okay? And however she works it out with you, she'll work it out with you. I'm not going to get too in depth with that. If you're in or around Tampa Bay, I have a guy. His name is Dennis. It's the guy that I use. He's been in business for 15, 20 years, okay? He has a repping business. Dennis, if you hook up with him, you'll get a key, the passcode to the office. You'll be taught how to do the paperwork. You're basically your own dealer, but you're a rep at his spot. You're responsible for selling the cars. You're responsible for collecting sales tax. You have to pay him monthly. You need to have Zelle, because Zelle's the only way he accepts money. He does not accept cash, check. He accepts Zelle. If you don't have Zelle, yeah, SOL. I don't know what to tell you. And it actually works out for you too, because you could hand someone cash, they forget that you gave them cash, or the dollar amount that you remember and they remember is different. With Zelle, you're simply Zelling the money, 13 Focus taxes plus dealer fee, and then you Zelle it in the memo, boom, it's done. Now they tell you, oh, you never sent me the money. You can simply go back to your Zelle and be like, yo, look, here on this day I sent it to you. Oh, my bad. It happens, man, it happens. So, they'll both be there for you. In terms of the way Kia runs it, I don't 110% know how she runs it. It's my homegirl, and the reason why I don't know is I don't want to get involved with too much with how they handle it, because I don't want to misspeak. There's another place, if you're on Facebook Marketplace, you could see it's like own your own dealership or license now or something to that effect. And basically what they're doing is they're like a co-op dealership. And if I'm not mistaken, they are only allowing you to get a wholesale license. So your license might be out of New York, Arizona, Florida, et cetera. So if you're doing that, that works out well, but what you want to know is, as a wholesaler, you can only buy and sell. You can't sell to the general public. You have to buy and sell from and to dealers, auctions, et cetera, or find a guy like myself who's willing to do business with you and say, yeah, you could put XYZ cars on my lot. Tell me what you want me to sell them for. You run your own ads. I'll run some ads for you, because again, I pay, for the whole lot. And then I break it down to how many spots I have. And each spot has to make this much money in order for us to make money. So if you have a car and it's sitting there for a month, right? It's not selling, something's wrong. Your car isn't what it should be. The money's not there. You're asking too much, whatever. And then I just don't want it. I'm not a storage lot. So if you come to me and you're like, oh yeah, I want. So I had a guy that had a 2007 Ford not Explorer, Expedition, 200,000 miles. He's like, yeah, I want $5,000 for it. I was like, I can't help you, man. I went on Facebook Marketplace. For $5,000, you could get like a 2011 with 170,000 miles on it. For his car, should have got about $3,000, 2,500. So I turned him down. I don't know what to tell you. I turned him down. As a matter of fact, the car, the truck is, have you seen the video when I showed you the lot? It's still sitting there. We're going to actually drop it off and pick up a different car for him. But, yeah. So, I mean, I'm very picky with what I do. As a rep, though, if you join that group, you're definitely going to want to know how can you sell your cars. If they allow you, and again, I'm not talking legal here. I don't know the law. I don't want to get involved with that. That's your responsibility. If they're telling telling you, hey, we'll send you a bill of sale, and all you have to do is have the buyer fill out the bill of sale, and then we'll give you all this other stuff, temp tags, the whole 9 yards. That's up to you. I could tell you right now in the state of Florida, if you, I don't care where your license is. Let's just say you get one of these licenses and you buy the car through the auction and then you sell it here, but your dealership that you're repping under is in Washington, it's still against the law. And the way you'll end up getting caught is how many cars you sell with Florida titles from a Washington dealer, because we don't actually get titles titled. We just endorse the back of them, if you will. And that's that. So you want to definitely know the law when you're doing these things, and know the penalties. I really don't know. But for me, it would be local. So what I would do is I would go to dealerships, try to find out, who runs them, who owns them, and either write them an email, send them a text, like, hey, I'm Dave Moe. I've been selling cars for a while. I'm looking to see if I could, be a rep underneath you for a monthly and per car fee. I have a job. I'm responsible. I have a XYZ credit score. Not that any of this stuff matters. What we were trying to do is we're trying to show that you're responsible, okay? The whole thing is about coming off as a responsible individual. I don't want to go into a dealership and act like I don't have my shit together. Because then they're going to look at you like you're a liability, right? You're a risk. Why would I want to take a risk with you? Now, if I had someone come in there and like, hey, I have a career. I'm just looking to make some side money. I'd like to go to the auction, buy a couple cars. If I could put them on your lot, what do you have here? What is it that you like? I don't want to be in competition with you, but what would you say I should buy so I'm not taking anything away from you and potentially bringing more customers in? Because if you're a dealership that you like to sell sedans, all the people that are looking for coupes aren't coming in here, right? So, all right, so you don't want me to sell, I don't want to say sedans, but you don't want me to sell Nissan Altimas. I'm just throwing this out there, guys. Okay, no problem. So I might go buy a 370, right? I might go buy a 37 coupe. So now, or a Jeep. So now what I'm doing is, you don't buy these types of vehicles. I'm buying this vehicle. So now, as my customers are coming in here for my Jeep, maybe they don't like my Jeep and we could get them in one of your sedans. Maybe, right? But here's the thing. No matter what, I'm still bringing in traffic. Okay, of course I want to sell my car first. That's what they came for. But if they don't like my car, maybe we could turn them into something of yours and then you make a sale. Hey man, you know what? As a dealership owner, they're gonna be like, you know what? That's a great idea. Because the more cars I could have in my lot with diversity, the more people that are coming through my front door. If they don't like what they're selling, I gotta turn them into something that I have, okay? So that's how you wanna approach these dealers. You wanna approach them with the mindset that you're a positive. You wanna approach them with the, I could add this value to your dealership. Maybe they don't have an online presence, and you notice that they don't have a website. You noticed that they don't have, like I don't have X or Twitter or Snapchat or Insta. I don't have whatever you kids call this shit these days. I don't have that. I only sell cars through Marketplace and I have a website, right? So if someone came up to me and said, hey, you know what? I could really increase your social media presence by doing these things, maybe then, and for that one individual, I would say, all right, you know what? I'll do a 1-month trial with you. If I see you're doing your thing and you're really hyping up the dealership, then I want you here. I'll take you under my wing, so to speak. I will show you everything that I know. I can potentially become a mentor if you're not used to buying and selling at the auction, or even just being around that type of environment. And potentially you could show me about social media. So when you come and approach someone, like I'm against reps, but right there, I just told you, someone came into my shop and said, hey, I could do all these things for you. Great. Let's just say they don't have a website. You could go to dealercarsearch.com and they're already pre-made dealer websites. All you gotta do is VIN scan it, put in the information and upload the pictures. Now, all of a sudden, this dealer that doesn't even have a website, doesn't know a damn thing about websites, thinks that you went here and you built this big, magnificent website for them, right? So now, the .com, right? Let's just say you're, you know, easycars.com, norustcars.com, whatever you did. Now you're like, hey, look, man, whenever you're running your ads, make sure you put this in there. So if they come looking at this car, there's a lot more pictures because Facebook only lets you have like 20 pictures, right? Your website could have, let's say, 100. And you could write in there, you know, 80 more pictures, go to xyz.com. And now what ends up happening is you're telling the dealer, like, now when they come onto your website, they're looking at this one car, but they might not have even known, hey, the Nissan Altima was really nice, but damn, I really like that Maxima. And for a couple $1,000s more, I could own it. And they got financing? Damn, so now you just took a customer that was looking at a bunch of Altimas, and now they're looking at your Maxima, right? Now, like, damn, I want to come in, I want to see that car. So when you go to talk to the dealers, you want to talk like you're bringing something to the table other than them just helping you use their license. Because a lot of these dealers are going to look at it like, damn, this guy's going to be competition under the same roof. You got to change that narrative. You got to change that mindset that they're in. A lot of these guys are old school, man. A lot of these guys have been in this game for a long time, bro. And I can tell you right now, these old timers, and I'm not even talking about age, I'm talking about time in the game. These old timers, they look at you like your competition. I can tell you that right now. They look at you like competition. Like I consider myself an old timer. I've been doing this for a long time. But I really feel like I don't have competition. I know that sounds like conceited and cocky, but I don't count another man's money. I don't care what they're doing. I only care about my money and how it stacks up. But so when you're talking to me, I can talk to you on like a level field. But when you're talking to some of these other people, you're just simply that, and that's competition. So make sure you have it down at what you're going to bring to the table and let them know you're an asset. All right. Eventually, you'll probably want to open up your own dealership, and when that time does come, I will say, you know, if I lost this spot that I'm at now, I'd probably go to a warehouse with 6 to 10 cars, and at that warehouse, I'd probably figure out which type of vehicles make me the most amount of money, and that's what I would sell. Right now, like I said in prior videos, I'm really interested in trucks. I'm not talking about like rundown, beat up trucks either. I'm talking about like really nice trucks. I would have bought it, but I had too many miles. I was just at the auction. I was looking at a 2010 F-150 Platinum. It was beautiful. It was lifted, nice wheels. It was done so classy. But I didn't like the mileage, and quite frankly, you can't finance it, at least not with my lenders. Excuse me. At least not with my lenders. And yeah, it just wasn't, and it was like 11 grand. So it wasn't for me. For that same 11 grand, I'd rather get something newer with less miles, not all dressed up. I hope this video kind of helped. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to being a rep. You know what I mean? It's so black and white. You work for a dealership, so to speak. You buy and sell cars underneath their license, and that's it. You know, I think the moral of the story is how to become a rep. And I think we nailed it. I think if you're an asset to that dealership, you'll become a rep. They'll allow you to rep for them. And that's it, guys. So I hope this video helps you out a little bit. And that's it. You know, you just get out there and start doing it, man. You just have to do it. And again, I apologize. I know I kind of got off topic a few times, but that's just the way my videos go. You know, I apologize for that. I'm out of here.